An extra tier list today. This one will be the job classes for the Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered slash original. And my ranking and my thoughts on each one. So the categories are must-haves in your party for my liking. The swap class is basically like classes you can like sometimes use or swap out of your main party. Basic is just they're okay, and left out are classes that are just I don't personally care for them. So orator uh slash mediator in the original Final Fantasy Tactics. I gotta put it basic. Um it's a unique kind of class, so if you want to have someone in your party that can uh tame monsters, have them join you on your team, or invite certain uh, characters, like human characters, as you do your battles there. So as you're kind of going through the story and you see somebody that you may want on your team, not only that, you could get their equipment and then release them once you stole their equipment, which is what I do. But it helps in your developing your large party, so that way you have like these different ones. What's nice about inviting you know uh characters to join your party is that they come usually come fully equipped, and they're depending on what part of the story you're in, they're already leveled, so that helps with developing that particular character into whatever you want. But if you don't really care about that, if you don't really care about hoarding monsters, or if you don't really care about, you know, um, inviting party members to join your team, you're probably not going to use the orator. It's just one of those classes that you either will or won't use. For equipment that you want off characters, you have the thief that'll steal. Uh, so there's that. Archer. Fortunately, Archer, I'll have to put it left out because their damage output sucks. Later on in the game, they have some unique abilities like concentration and equip crossbow, but by the time you get to the part of the story where you can equip guns, you'll use that. And the Archer just it has its aim function, but takes so long to charge on a lot of them. It's a ranged class, but there's not enough power to justify him being a main class staple on your party. You may use some of the skills for your characters, but Archer as a whole, early on's fine, but not late in the game, in my opinion. White Mage, I gotta put in basic. White Mage is really if you want a full healer. So if you're going like cures and removal of diseases or conditions, the mage has only one attack spell, the Meteor, and it uses up a lot of MP when you cast it. If you combine that with like chemist or something like that, it'll be like your healing class. But there's strictly going to be healing. There's a healing cane that you do pick up there. So if you want like a full fledged healer, that's all they've been doing is healing your party members. It's one of those type of classes that like you'll have in there. Or, they're not really meant for a combat thing. You can combine other classes with like healing magic and everything, but as a full white mage class, it's like the orator. You either will use it or you won't. Time Mage, I don't like. Sure, it has unique spells and whatnot, but a Time Mage, I just be a Time Mage to get to open other classes, to be honest. I've never really, other than maybe haste and a couple of skills there, not really a staple for the party for me. How's this one? Oh, that's thief. Okay. Thief, I gotta put in party must. So thief is very good for if you want to steal items off of other people. If there's a sword, if there's an armor, you want to make some gold. They have the skill guild taking. The thief skill set is very good if you put on like a monk or you know a knight, something like that. Just to have that thief as a class is very fast and can move all around. Not a frontline fighter unless you give it armor or something. But a thief class is a very good staple to have, especially when you're taking other items that you want to buff your guys up. Um, so yeah, that's the summoner. Whoops. Summoner to me is a staple in your party. Um, I love the fact that the spells don't hurt your own guys, unlike the Black Mage. They're very powerful spells that can get like an area of effect in a whole bunch of enemies. And if you level them up and like magic boost properly, they do massive damage with their spells. And then you can make it so that way they can replenish their MP throughout the battle. Um, and as long as that happens, you can cast like really monstrous spells and deal a lot of damage. Let me see what this is here. Squire. Squire is your basic. Everyone starts out with that at the beginning of the game. It's got some, other than Ramza, the main character, Squire is your basic, like, accumulate more power, throw stone, dash. Move one is a very important skill to have because then your guys can move more spaces. Um, but it's not really a class that you're going to run through your entire game with. There may be a couple of you know skill things you take from it, like equip axes or something like that. But it's not a go to type of class, in my opinion. Samurai. I'm putting that in left out. Um, Samurai has unique skills like the I think in the original it was called Meatbone Slash, where like if your character goes down, then you do like massive damage, and then you could have a weapon two handed for damage. But the problem I have with samurai is you have to keep up with the katanas because like it does like its unique slash moves and its skill set there, but then the swords break, so you have to constantly have backup swords so that way the samurai can use those swords. It's just a pain in the ass, in my opinion. It's a really good armored uh, build there, and you can go through the game as a samurai with a bunch of skills, but for me, it's not one that I would have as just standard party member. Um, Ninja. Ninja's a swap out class. Very fast, two-handed weapons. You can hit twice. It can throw things from basically almost halfway across the combat field to like hit enemies and stuff with your shurikens and your blades. But you have to have inventory for that. Really cool class. I like it a lot. It's very fast. The movement rate you can get up. It's a very fast character like the thief, and you can have a really cool mixture of a thief with ninja class there if you would like. The only problem is like trying and it's not like a tanky character, uh, but it is a unique class to kind of if you want like fast speed, you can put on the treasure hunter, uh, So that way it's moving across the field if you want to find like those secret items on the combat maps there. Really good for that, especially in the secret dungeon because there's lots of like hidden weapons you find. And treasure hunter skill from the chemist is good for that. Mystic, I'm gonna put in basic. It's trick magic, turning people to stone and so on and so forth. Um, it's unique, yes, but it's they're better unlockable characters to be honest that have much better kind of things that they can do. So really it leaves the mystic kind of out for that. What's the first unlockable character you get is Ficio, or I can't pronounce his name, but he comes equipped with like the gun, and then he has leg aim, arm aim, so you can stop characters from moving. You can prevent them from doing actions, and then seal evil. It can turn people to stone. Very cool. Um, and what's cool about his character is that you can like have you can put on the knight skills where you can like clip their speed, clip their power, stuff like that. So the mystic really becomes redundant. It's cool of a class, and you'll take some skills bits from that as well. But it's like the orator. It's like if you want to do some trick magic, uh, sure, try it. But it's not a staple class for me. The monk is going up to a party must. The monk is just too good. Sure, it's lacking in its armament. It can get totally destroyed on like not having much armor, but it hits hard. It has decent movement. There are a lot of really cool skills that have it. Um, it's just a good tanky class. Combine that with like double hit, or if you throw armor on it, I guess it works. But you could have a monk thief, you could have a monk ninja. It's and its skill set is one of the best in the entire game. I'm pretty sure I'd safe to say that the monk everybody uses in their party because it's just too damn good. It has very effective melee damage. It has distance damage. It has healing. It's just really good. The uh, mime is powerful, yes, but I'd rather have like the main job classes in my party than the mime. It's just been my thing. You probably feel different about it. The mime does pretty much everything, but eh. The knight is decent enough. It's armored enough. Uh, you can combine it with multiple other skill classes. It's a tank. It's a solid start, especially early in the game. The damage output is okay. Um, you know, you can even give it like double swords, so it hits twice. You could put attack up. You can do a bunch of stuff with that. It's a swap class. I believe that was it Geomancer, yes. Geomancer is another swap class. It has like distance. The Geomancer skills where you can hit like multiple targets with an AoE. It has good attack damage, attack up. The only downside of it is not as armored, but you can fix that with like obviously skills from other classes such as the knight by putting armor on the geomancer if you prefer that. Their movement rate is a lot better than the knight, obviously, or can be. And it's damage wise, it's not the highest. I mean, depending on what you do with your skills and all that, but like it's a cool class. And I like the fact that it has like a distance AoE bunch of triggers there, a bunch of skills. That I can use on any terrain once you unlock them all. So it's cool. Dragoon is armored as hell, very good. Um, More armored so than the knight, but its jump skill is fantastic once you level it up and unlock like all its jumps. A very, very defensive class. It's susceptible to magic, but for a tank, you want to go Dragoon. Its reach of its javelins from two basically a square away is really cool. So you don't get those stupid reactions from monsters hitting back. So the javelin's really neat. Um, so yeah, Dancer is one of those maybe used skills. It's cool, like the dancing effects of healing your guys, giving them MP, giving them buffs. Um, I mean, honestly, you could take the dancer skill and put it on like a knight or what have you, and kind of have an added feature of that class. The dancer class itself, not the best. Not you're going to be keeping it away from everything while it does its dancing stuff, so it's not really going to be involved in combat too much unless you really want to. But it's one of those niche kind of like maybe classes, much like the orator. It's very situational depending on what kind of party you're going for. But the dancer is cool. I do like it. Um, Chemist. Chemist class itself is weak, but you do get all the items unlockable, and you're probably going to use like the treasure hunter thing. That's the one skill you can unlock here where you can like find things on the battleground. But you're gonna unlock all the items there. So if you're, healing potions and all that kind of stuff, it's decent for that. But the class itself, you're gonna be the white using the white mage. That's a little bit more defense if you're gonna go that way. As a healer, strict healer, um, because the chemist has low stats, and most of the time the enemies will go after the chemist because it's your healer type. Uh, you know, um, so the chemist is kind of like if you're gonna go strict chemist, add white magic, find a way to buff it up with armor maybe. But there are better classes that you can take some of the um, chemist skills and transfer them over to a better defensive class. Okay. Black Mage, you're gonna put in swap class. The thing I don't like about the Black Mage is its spells can hit your characters as well. So if you target a unit, it moves if you've messed up the order, and the spell goes off and they move, and it'll hit your guys too. It's annoying. But if you are playing it right, the Black Mage and the damage it can do is quite good. So if you're going kind of a mix, half of your guys are going to be magic and half are going to be melee, the Black Mage and the Summoner are going to be your choices. Uh, the Black Mage, you can make it so that the magic damage goes up quite a bit, much like the Summoner. So obviously, they're the two best mage classes in the game for damage output, but do be wary of the black mage and their spells hit your guys if you don't time it right. What was this final one? Was oh yeah, the math guy. Don't like it. It's the I'm gonna call it the mathematician class. It's based off of calculations there, and if you're not really good at that, in terms of that, then you're not gonna care for the class. It is powerful, I guess, but um, other than it's like there's a couple of skills that are neat, like experience boost as you walking around, and JP boost when you're walking around, but the JP boost doesn't really give you a ton of JP, and the mathematician class takes a bit to unlock. You have to go through a bunch of different classes to get it, and it's kind of a waste of time. As a class itself, unless you are very good at the calculation side of things, you're not going to use it. And I don't. So it's at the bottom there, and probably the worst, in my opinion, class as far as just more of a pain in the ass, actually, class, to be honest. I'd rather use a samurai or a mime or, you know, stuff like that. So there's my quick list there of my ranking of Final Fantasy Tactic jobs. Uh, it'd be interesting if they came out with DLC and added a few new job classes. I don't know if they will. I don't think they will, but if they did, it'd probably be from the War of the Lion, the PSP game of tactics. But yeah, that's my ranking there. I hope you enjoyed it, and catch you in the next video.